Happy Monday, everybody. So, what happened last week in real estate? So, we'll start off with some stats in King County. So, we had 596 new listings. We had 680 pending sales. So, again, another week where we have more pending sales than we have new listings. If we break down the pending sales, we had a median days on market of 8 days. So, the majority of the listings that are coming on are selling in that first week. Median pending price ratio, 100%. So homes are coming on at a certain price and they're selling at that certain price or going under contract at that certain price. 75% of pending sales went straight to pending, so no inspection. Closed sales, we had 499, and the median sales price ratio was 100%. So what that means is you have a house that comes on the market, let's say at $500,000. It goes pending at $500,000 within the first week, and then it closes the following month at $500,000. That's sort of the median of what's going on in the market right now. According to Altos Research, which is where I pull my weekly real-time data on what's going on as a country, on a high level, Mike, who is the founder of Altos Research, is surprised at how resilient demand is, and he's also surprised to see new listing inventory remain low, but also total active inventory actually inching towards the pandemic lows that we saw in 2021 and early 2022. Not necessarily a great sign to see inventory shrinking. Median home prices inched up and median price of new listings inched up. So Federal Reserve update. So Governor Lisa Cook put a statement out regarding monetary policy and economic forecasting. So it's funny, when you control F that statement, disinflation actually comes up 7 times, which I thought was interesting. She says rent increases on new leases have slowed sharply over the past 6 months, which should begin to pull down measured housing services inflation over the course of the year. Moreover, significant supply of multifamily housing is coming online, which should take further pressure off the rental market. So that's good for future inflation because shelter costs makes up a large percentage of overall inflation. And on that note, I actually went to apartmentlist.com because they recently put out a new report. And overall, the nation saw a month-to-month increase in rent growth, but year over year, everything is pretty much down compared to last year. But this is interesting. They go on to say, with a record number of multifamily apartment units currently under construction, we expect that supply constraints will continue to soften. 2023 could be the first time since the early stages of the pandemic that we see property owners competing for renters rather than the other way around. So this is really interesting. This just goes to show that the shelter cost inflation in the future is going to be trending down, which is good for overall inflation, which is good for interest rates, right? Specifically Seattle here, so rents are up 1.1% month over month and down 0.8% year over year. Seattle actually ranked number 2 in terms of slowest rent growth in the last 6 months. So this will work through the pipeline and it will show up in CPI reports and PCE and all this sort of stuff in the future, which should hopefully cause interest rates to trend down as well. So while we're talking about interest rates, what's going on with interest rates right now? So the 30-year fixed, according to Mortgage News Daily, is about 6.57%, which is slightly up compared to last week, but has been trending down since it peaked back in late February, early March at 7% before all the bank drama happened. Mortgage Bankers Association, They posted another increase of 2.9% in mortgage application data, which makes it the fourth consecutive week of increasing application data. Consumer confidence rose in March slightly, which is a good thing. And the Port of Seattle actually projects for 2023 that traffic levels will be just short of pre-pandemic levels, and will return to pre-pandemic levels in 2014. And they go on to forecast the period between March 24 through Monday, April 17. SeaTac will see over 1.2 million travelers going outbound through the security checkpoints and over 3 million passengers overall through the airport. So, people are out traveling, their, confidence is up. So that's a good sign. All right, so some tips. Buyers, if you are putting less than 20% down, which is totally fine, you're going to be required to pay what's called private mortgage insurance, but there's a way to get around having to pay that every month. Now, do this if you have the extra cash laying around when considering closing costs and having some reserves. But if you don't want that PMI tacked onto your monthly payment, you can pay a one-time premium up front and not have PMI. If, let's say, you don't have the cash, it's always worth asking the seller, right? You never make the shots you don't take. Ask the seller, hey, if we increase the purchase price by X amount, which would be, let's say, equal to the premium amount that you'd pay to not have PMI, if we increase that amount by, let's just say, $5,000, would you give me the concession towards closing costs? And that way, it's really, no harm, no foul to the seller, and they give you that, and that pays for it without you coming out of pocket. Okay, sellers, a way to maximize the amount of potential offers that you get on your home is to actually do the inspection yourself and provide that report to buyers. And the reason being is you can let buyers do pre-inspections, but in a competitive environment, that necessarily doesn't mean that they're going to get the house. So they're going to be out $400, $500 every time they do a pre-inspection, and you can only do that so many times before you just don't have the money to pay for these inspections. So it provides the buyer some peace of mind, because they know, okay, here's a report that the seller did that tells us what's going on with the house. They disclosed it on the seller disclosure. Great. Okay. So we don't have to necessarily come out of pocket, for the 10th time to do a pre-inspection on this house. We can just go, okay, the seller did it. This is great. We'll use this. We know what we're buying. Let's make an offer. No inspection contingency. So there you have it. If you have any questions on any of this, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, my name is Aaron Lawrenson. I'm with Coldwell Banker Bain, and have a good week, guys.